Rob and Jordan here. Just a reminder, before we get to this week's Maui News Sports Report, a special montage look back at the 2013-2014 sports year from producer Chris Sugidono coming next week. It's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure you check that out. Well, slice my apple and bake me a pie. Another Maui News Sports Report is upon us. I'm Rob, he's Jordan, and it's our 2013-2014 MIL Year in Review wrap-up show. So obviously we've got a lot to talk about, Jordan. Let's get right to it. Let's start in the fall. And in the fall, you got to talk about football. And it was just a special season for the Lahainaluna High School football team. 10-0 start, perfect regular season. Didn't end the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, a couple wins short of their ultimate goal, which was to get back to and win the state championship after being the runner-ups the year before. But just an unbelievable season. Now we've gotten a chance to kind of step back and really look at it in perspective. And both players of the year, Jared Rocha on offense, Connor Mawad on defense, both of those guys come back, just juniors this past season. Really a peerless defense. Gave up just 130 yards a game, under a touchdown a game at 5.5 points a game, just stifling. And to go unbeaten through a full MIL campaign with their preseason victory, averaged almost 400 yards a game as well when playing with running clocks basically every game. Just a landslide how they went through the MIL season, this first ever regular season televised statewide game where they really made a statement, and a team with the silver lining kind of looking at next year, a team that brings back a lot, could be even better next year.
No doubt about it, and as you said, they outscored MIL opponents 336-44. Unbelievable. And the shutout streak of the year before was amazing, and this and that, but just an incredible season for the Lunas. And like you said, they come back strong, and they probably won't face an all-star team from Kaiser that was, recruited to do what they did last year. Moving on to cheerleading in the fall, a rare state title for Kamehameha Maui.
Yeah, in the medium division, and that division comprised of 13 different teams. And when you think at regular state tournaments, at most 12 teams, and they beat out 12 separate teams in that 13-team contest. Just a great win for that athletic program. Coaches Kaylee Molina and Ann Safri have really vaulted that program to new heights. And what is very competitive, cheerleading has become very competitive in its form, in its competition form of these days. And just a great win for that program, one of the highlights of the academic year for the MIL with that state championship banner.
No doubt. And also in the fall, cross country, Seabury wins the boys and girls Division II state titles in team-wise, but that really wasn't the big part of that story.
Yeah, Dakota Grossman, just another feather in her cap for her illustrious MIL and state career. 4 peats in the cross-country championships, first girl to ever do it at 3 miles, second girl ever after Punoa girl who did it on 2-mile courses. So she's running the same distance as the boys. Just an unbelievable fall for her, and really was just kind of a warm-up for what was an unbelievable year for her in total.
No doubt, and that was Ari McDonald who did that from 1995 to 98. They're the only 2, no boy has ever done it, only 2 in state history ever to do that. And Jordan, in a sport unique to the MIL, Seabury Hall, still unbeaten 2 seasons into 8-man football. They will say goodbye to Cade Omura, who will take his talents to Linfield, a Division III power in Oregon.
Yeah, it's been a fun league to watch as well, and it's growing as the years go on. Wide open, high-scoring games that have been a joy to watch throughout the season. Seabury has been undefeated. Molokai has been very good. And what we hear out of the Big Island, they should be sanctioning the league come the fall, and we may see a reincarnation of the Neighbor Island Football Championships between the 2 league champions, which should be a lot of fun and something to look forward to perhaps in the fall.
Kihei Charter and Lanai joining the MIL 8-man ranks to make 6 teams. Moving on to the winter sports, you got to start with Lahainaluna girls basketball, a special season, 29-2. They beat the other 7 state quarterfinalists in the Division I bracket. They made it all the way to the Division I final. 23-game win streak there snapped.
Yeah, it was just a great year for Luna's athletics all around, and maybe the best season by anybody there on the West Side campus. The Lahaina Luna girls basketball team, you mentioned, wins through basically the entire top 10 at the end of the season, falling just a bit short in the championship game. Really, one bad 5-minute stretch in the championship game was all that separated them from the eventual state champion Punahou in that game. A team that was just unbelievable in the regular season, how dominant they were. And another silver lining, kind of like the football team, they lose just one senior in Loke Vasquez and should be even better next year, which is scary to think about with how loaded they'll be and what should be a very competitive, again, statewide slate.
Big girl, Kalia Aiko Kaloi, the Bates sisters, Taylor and Lindsay, and the list goes on and on and on. The Lunas are really, really good. They're also really, really good in wrestling. They finished second twice in the team titles, races there, boys and girls. They led both after day one. They say goodbye on the boys' side to two-time state champion Bubba Jaramillo. He will move on to college wrestling. But Lali Le Mataafa, Kapu Jaramillo, Brianna Dudoa Vasquez all come back. The Luna girls have a real shot at an unprecedented state title next year.
Yeah, and they could be even better next year, kind of the theme with all these Luna sports. So something a lot to look forward to as we move into the 2014-2015 season. Over on the pitch in boys soccer, really an unbelievable year for the MIL as a whole. We've seen it happen in boys basketball a couple of times. Very rare, though, to have two MIL teams in the Final Four. League champion Kamehameha Maui, league runner-up Baldwin, both made it to the semifinals in the state tournament, both falling there, but just an unbelievable run. And when you consider Kinke Kaulike, the third-place team on the MIL, was just as good as both of them, tying both of them in the regular season. The MIL really had 3 out of the top 5 or 6 teams in the state. Just an unbelievable run there in boys soccer.
In swimming, Baldwin's Jonah Hugh, a two-time state titleist, sets the state record in the 100-yard breaststroke. He's a very smart young man. He will be moving on to USC to continue his swimming career, and I look forward to battles with former Seabury Hall standout Rennie Richmond, who is at Arizona. That's going to be something else to watch. Moving on to the spring, really boys volleyball was a large part of the spring story. King Kekalike makes a really rare run to the Division I state Final Four. Seabury Hall makes another state final in Division II. They're really kind of a dynasty in Division II. But maybe the most emotional story of the entire year was Hana boys volleyball.
Yeah, I think without a doubt the most emotional story of the year, the most heart-wrenching. On the court, just an unbelievable season for the Dragons. They played a full Division I and Division II schedule, one of the rare sports in the league that still does that. Went unbeaten in the regular season, did the Dragons. Of course, at the end of the season, kind of that emotional roller coaster caught up with them a little bit. The tragic death of Isaiah Puakima, by far the biggest story of the sporting year in the MIL. But for the Dragons to do that, a school with less than 90 total kids, not just 90 boys, 90 total students in 9 through 12, to go unbeaten on a run like that, playing Division I schools, playing Seabury Hall, which, as you mentioned, 5 straight Division II finals, to me was just unbelievable and just a wild story for them to make it that far, falling just a little bit short, but just so much to be proud of in that East Maui community.
No doubt, and that team loses only one more senior. They'll be back strong. But the capper to all cappers, really a very special, a very emotional, and a very dominating performance to cap the careers of Alyssa Bettendorf and Dakota Grossman for the Seabury Hall girls track team.
Yeah, for them to go through it really started on Friday in the high jump with Amy Oz winning that one. Alyssa Bettendorf started things off on Saturday in the finals with a bang, winning the 100, first of 3 gold medals there. Dakota Grossman four-peats in the 3,000 meters, just as she did in cross country in the fall. She wins 2 more gold medals to add to her collection. And for Seabury Hall, it was just the perfect night where they just dominated. And the funny thing almost was everybody around the track, you talk to people, I was down there on the infield, everybody kind of sensed that they were going to run away with this one as soon as the results started coming in and they started racking up the gold medals. Almost everybody seemed to know it except Seabury Hall because they had come so close. I actually spoke to Dakota Grossman before they announced the winners and letting her know, we'd probably want to interview her a little bit right after that. So I was working it for TV, and she was so tense and nervous because they didn't know that they had won. And they won by 30-something points, almost doubling
Almost
up
double,
second place
yeah.
Hilo. But because they had come so close, they weren't going to celebrate until it was an official announcement. And when it did, just the emotion that poured out from those girls and Coach Bobby Grossman was a special, special moment. And for Seabury Hall and that tiny school up on the hill to take down everybody in Division I, Division II, it doesn't matter. It's just one slate in track and field. For them to do that was the shining moment of the MIL season.
Dakota Grossman will take her 10 gold medals and MIL record, state gold medals, that is, an MIL all-time record, to Utah, full scholarship there. Alyssa Bettendorf, 3 unbelievable come-from-behind victories in the 100, 200, 400, matching Shane Victorino. She will take her talents to Northern Colorado, and we will be following both of them in their college careers. And that's our year in review, MIL Sports. We'll see you soon. Send us your bobbleheads.